السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله على إحسانه وشكر له على تفضله وامتنانه، ولا إله إلا الله تعظيما لشأنه، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله داعي إلى رضوانه وعلى آله وأصحابه وإخوانه. أما بعد. We're continuing with our lecture series regarding the signs of the Day of Judgment. Sign number 39 from the signs of the Day of Judgment. The Prophet ﷺ says, إِنَّ مِنْ أَشْرَاطِ السَّاعَةِ أَنْ يَمُرَّ الرَّجُلُ بِالْمَسْجِدِ لَا يُصَلِّي فِيهِ رَكْعَتَيْنِ. He says, from the signs of the Day of Judgment is a man will pass through a mosque and he will not pray 2 rak'ah tahiyat al-masjid. And this is something that is present in many mosques, and especially in our mosque, Masjid Salam. Yes, we have a mosque here, but we have other services and other facilities upstairs. We have a madrasa, we have a high school, we have a TV station, we have many other facilities up there. So a person comes to the mosque and instead of praying 2 rak'ah tahiyat al-masjid, he goes straight upstairs. This is from the signs of the Day of Judgment. Also in town we have Jamia Mosque. Some people go to Jamia Mosque just for meetings, or just to cross over from one side of town to the other, to Al-Yusra. So this is from the signs of the Day of Judgment. The Prophet ﷺ says, إِنَّ مِنْ أَشْرَاطِ السَّاعَةِ يَمُرَّ الرَّجُلُ بِالْمَسْجِدِ لَا يُصَلِّي فِيهِ رَكْعَتَيْنِ. He says, ﷺ says, إِنَّ مِنْ أَشْرَاطِ السَّاعَةِ أَن تُتَّخَذَ الْمَسَاجِدَ طُرُقًا. From the signs of the Day of Judgment, people will be taking the mosques as a pathway, as a road. For example, you want to go to this estate KMA. Yes, we have a back gate here. So you come, you enter through this gate. You don't pray rak'atain just to cross into the estate. This is lack of manners with our mosque. Ikhwani fillah, the mosque, honestly speaking, we have to remind ourselves that this is not any house. This is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are some manners required in this house. From the manners that I have seen lacking, ikhwani fillah, is this one, the Prophet ﷺ, Tahiyyat al-Masjid. It is improper for you to come to a mosque and you do not pray Tahiyyat al-Masjid. Pray 2 rak'ah. But a mistake that happens even with people that I look up to as sheikhs, as doctor, is sometimes they pray Tahiyyat al-Masjid in a time that they should not pray. Ikhwani fillah, there are 5 times that salah is not allowed. There are how many times? 5 times you are not supposed to pray salah. The first time after Salat al-Fajr. The second time when the sun is rising. The third time when the sun is in the middle of the sky at the time of Zawal. The 4th time after Salat al-Asr. The 5th time when the sun is setting. These are 5 times where you're not supposed to pray a sunnah prayer. Amongst this sunnah prayer is the Tahiyyat al-Masjid. Are you together? Some scholars will tell you that these prayers that has asbab, that has a reason you can pray. Taib, we can accept that. However, there are 2 particular times, ikhwani fillah, and I've seen even sheikhs that I really respect, they make this mistake. When the sun is rising, or when the sun is setting, you should not pray any salah. Not Tahiyyat al-Masjid, do not pray any salah except if you are late for Salat al-Asr. Do not pray any sunnah salah when the sun is rising and when the sun is setting. For example, you come to the mosque at 6:30 or 6:40. Maghrib, right now the adhan is 6:50. Please sit down or walk around and make your adhkar. Do not pray Tahiyyat al-Masjid. Why? Because the prohibition on prayer at that time is the most severe prohibition that is there. The prohibition when the sun is rising and when the sun is setting, this is when the ubbadu shaitan, the worshippers of shaitan, are making their worship to shaitan. So do not be amongst that group. Do not pray Tahiyyat al-Masjid. A second mistake, when the imam, the khatib comes for the khutbah, he says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He sits down. Correct? Then the muaddin comes to do what? To give the adhan. Type, you have come when the muaddin is giving the adhan. Do you stand up and wait until he finishes the adhan, or do you pray Tahiyyat al-Masjid? Now. Now? Who says we wait? Who says you pray Tahiyyat al-Masjid? Ikhwani fillah, there are two issues here. If you want to listen to the adhan and you want to listen to the khutbah, which one is wajib? Which one is obligatory? Listening to the khutbah. So you should rush and pray your Tahiyyat al-Masjid even if the muaddin is giving his adhan. Are you together? Third issue from the mistakes that we see when people will come to the mosque. I don't know, maybe you give me this answer. Why are Muslims, a majority of them, very angry when they come to the mosque? If I as a sheikh, I've said everything good, alhamdulillah, I've said 99% good. If I make one single mistake, you'll be surprised at the anger that will appear in the mosque. Why? All this anger. You're coming to the mosque and you're saying, Allahumma gfirli, Allahumma gfirli, oh Allah, forgive me. But if my brother makes a mistake, I'm not going to forgive him. This is ajib. Another mistake I've seen is that people come to the mosque and everyone wants the mosque to be as he wants it. Some of them want the windows open, others want the windows closed. This is basic. But the most surprising when it comes, for example, Salat al-Layl in Ramadan, they say, Ya Sheikh, you're making your sujood too long. Another person comes and says, Ya Sheikh, you're making your sujood too short. What is the Sheikh supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? Everyone wants the salah to be prayed at the mosque as he pleases. Ikhwani fillah, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامِ لِيُتَمَّ بِهِ. The imam has been kept there for you to follow him or for him to follow you. The imam has been given this position for him to listen to your recitation or for you to listen to his recitation. You have to follow the imam. And this reason of everyone complaining when, wallahi, Ikhwani fillah, let us have more mahabba. Let us have more love for our salah, for our ibadah, for our worship. We're not coming here because it's wajib. We're coming here because we love to pray. We love to be in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We love to have a house in Jannah the same way we're looking after the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Come to the mosque where you're in a state of love, of ibadah. Another state that I've seen is difficult, I've always been shouted upon, is sometimes some mosques, they don't study any of the fiqh. People, they've been sheikhs for the 50 years, 40 years, but they have not studied. They see a small drizzle, or they see no rain, no clouds, and they say, let's pray Maghrib and Isha together. The people are going to get angry. You've been kept in that position as an imam because you're afraid of the people or you're afraid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-aslu fi salat, salla fi waqtiha. You have to pray prayer on time. If I as a sheikh, I tell you, all of you have to repeat that salat al-maghrib, how many of you are going to accept from me? Salat al-maghrib takes 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. But if I tell someone that you have to repeat your salat al-maghrib, all of a sudden we become enemies. All of a sudden I've done something very heavy upon you. Even sometimes in the parking, you see very strange things in the parking. The imam has already, the iqam has been done, the imam is praying. Someone wants to come to the mosque. Yes, you have two options. Rush for prayer or plan how you're going to rush out of the mosque. These are two options. You rush for prayer so that you can reach the salah and you pray the full jama'ah with the imam. Option number one. Option number two, I have to plan how to leave the mosque quickly. So you find many brothers, may Allah guide them, when it comes to salah, they do not care. There's 10 cars behind them, but they want to reverse. They want to reverse until they put their car in reverse, so that when they are leaving, they can leave quickly. They do not care that they are going to miss the jama'ah and others are going to miss the jama'ah. Ikhwani fillah, هذا من سوء الأدب. This is lack of manners for the mosque, for yourself and for your fellow brothers. Are you together, dear brothers? Sorry if I've been harsh. Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام, he says, إذا دخل أحدكم المسجد فلا يجلس حتى يركع ركعتين. If you enter the mosque, always perform these two rak'atain. From the signs of the day of judgment is people will lose respect for the mosques. The mosque has become, like the Sheikh says, أماكن للسياحة والفرجة للكفار بعدما كانت محلا للذكر والعبادة. Many mosques have become places of tourism. Places where people just go to visit and to see, this is how the Muslims are doing it. People have lost that meaning of the mosques. I remember one of the sheikhs here used to tell us that some people even come and they do business deals in the mosque. That is haram. Others, even worse, they come and do haram business in the mosque. This is not the reason that the mosque was built. The Bedouin Arab man came to the mosque and he urinated in the mosque. And the Sahabas wanted to beat him up. The Prophet ﷺ told them, no, wait. After he finished, the Prophet ﷺ, he says, the mosques have been kept for dhikrullah wa ibadah. The only reason the mosque is there is for you to have remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to worship Allah. Let us always remind ourselves that this is the purpose of mosques. Sign number 40 from the signs of the Day of Judgment. من اقتراب الساعة انتفاخ الأهلة. قال عليه الصلاة والسلام من اقتراب الساعة انتفاخ الأهلة وأن يرى الهلال ليلة فيقال ليلتين. From the signs of the Day of Judgment is that the moon, you shall look at the moon, but it does not look like the moon for day one, it looks like the moon for day two. The moon is bigger than normal. And this is something that's going to happen in the entire galaxy with the issues of Yawm al-Qiyamah. We shall look at how the sun is going to be affected, where it's going to rise in the morning from the west and not from the east. The moon also becomes bigger than it is. On the Day of Judgment, we shall also look at how the stars shall be falling down. So from the signs of the Day of Judgment is that the moon shall look bigger than it is. You can think that this is moon for one day, but it's actually a moon for day two. In Kenya, we have a very big controversy when it comes to sighting of the moon. And this controversy is not only in Kenya, it's in many countries. But this is a controversy that has no basis in religion as far as I'm concerned. If we as Muslims unite together, and we do, for example, as the Saudis do, we buy telescopes and we go sight for the moon, there shall never be this khilaf that is tearing us apart. Muslims are every year, taqriban, we are fasting on different days. So I remember we were telling one of, there are two groups, so we're telling of the other group, look at the moon. Today is the middle of the month, and it is a full moon. The middle of the month, the moon is full at its brightest. And you guys are claiming it is 2 days behind. How is that possible? Then they tell us, you know the Prophet said that before the Day of Judgment, the moon of day one will look like the moon of day two. They use this hadith. But this is utter falsehood. Ikhwani fillah, we are ummah. Our qibla is one. Our religion is one. We should not have differences just regarding the moon. And the last sign, ikhwani fillah, we are taking tonight inshallah, is kathratul kadhibi wa adamu tathabbut fi naql al-akhbar. People will be liars. There shall be a lot of lying. And people shall not be confirming news. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, إِن جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا إِن جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَثَبَّتُوا. If someone brings for you news, O Muslim, you must confirm that news. Whoever it might be, you must confirm that news. The Prophet ﷺ says that they shall come سِنُونَ خَدَّعَاتٍ, years where everything shall change. يُصَدَّقُ فِيهَا الْكَاذِبُ وَيُكَذَّبُ فِيهَا الصَّادِقُ. The person who is a liar will be considered truthful, and the person who is truthful will be considered as a liar. So we're in these times where a person who is a liar is considered truthful, hence he has more encouragement to do what? To lie, to spread falsehood. Prophet ﷺ says, سيكون في آخر أمتي أناس يحدثونكم ما لم تسمعوا أنتم ولا آباؤكم فإياكم وإياهم. In the end of this ummah, there shall be people who shall be talking things you have never heard of. You or your fathers, beware of them, be wary of them. Ikhwani fillah, the Prophet ﷺ, he says in an authentic hadith, and this is the most authentic hadith, hadithun mutawatir. It's a hadith that has been narrated by over 70 of the Sahaba of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Listen to what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he says in a hadith that can be considered as the most authentic hadith. He says, "Man kadhaba alayya muta'ammida falyatabawwa maq'adahu min an-nar." Whoever lies on me, I, the Prophet, intentionally, should take his chair in the hellfire. Whoever lies upon the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam should take his chair in the hellfire. Are you together? Ikhwani fillah, people of our history, they have been lying against Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Some of them have done it intentionally. Some of them have done it out of ghafla, out of negligence on their part. For example, out of negligence, there's a man called Thabit ibn Musa al-Abid. This man was a worshipper, but he was not very intelligent. One day he comes to the gathering of the Qadi Sharik, and Sharik is narrating a hadith. Sharik says, حدثني الأعمش قال حدثني أبو سفيان عن جابر أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. He gives this chain of narration. Sharik sees Thabit ibn Musa coming to the mosque, and this is a person who's a worshipper, a person of Qiyamul Layl, and he says the following words: "Man kathura salatuhu bil layli hasuna wajhuhu bin nahar." Whoever prays a lot at night, his face shall be brighter during the day. So this man, Miskin, he thinks that that is the hadith that was narrated by Sharik with that chain of narration. قال حدثني أعمش سليمان بن مهران عن أبي سفيان عن جابر عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. And he starts narrating this hadith. So he lied on Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, but not intentionally. Number two, there are people who lied because they wanted to spoil the religion of the Muslims. They hated Islam. Some of them were Jews. Some of them were from the Shia. They hated everything to do with Islam, and they lied about it. Amongst these people is a man called Muhammad ibn Sa'id al-Maslub, la'natullah alayh. This man was crucified in Syria. This man, he says, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا نبي بعدي إلا أن يشاء الله. There is no prophet after me. Authentic hadith. Then he adds something at the end. He says, except if Allah wills. This hadith means that there is a possibility of a prophet coming after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this man, he lied so as to spoil the religion of the Muslims. One of them was caught by the Khalifa Harun al-Rashid. He's brought to Harun al-Rashid. Why are you making false statements about the religion of Islam? He says, because I want to lose the Muslims. He says, this man has to be executed. So as he's been taken to be executed, he says, Harun al-Rashid, I have falsified 2,000 hadiths. I have written 2,000 hadiths. And I'm only one who knows these hadiths. If you execute me, you're going to make the people lose the way. He says, I do not care even if you've falsified more than that. As long as we have the great scholar Abdullah ibn Mubarak al-Marwazi, as long as we have Abu Ishaq al-Fazari, they will know what is the Sahih and what is the Da'if. Another issue, some people, they have competition. There's competition between sheikhs sometimes. So there's the madhab of Imam Abu Hanifa, Al-Nu'man ibn Thabit. He died in the year 150 of the Hijri calendar. The year he died, Imam Shafi'i was born. Imam Shafi'i was born the year 150 and he died the year 204. So there was some competition between the madhahib of Imam Shafi'i and Imam Abu Hanifa. So some students or supporters, not students, supporters of Abu Hanifa, they write a long hadith. They say, سيكون في آخر أمتي رجل يقال له محمد بن إدريس هو شر من الإبليس. There shall come a person from this ummah whose name is Muhammad ibn Idris, al-Shafi'i, who was sharr min al-Iblis. He's even worse than the Iblis. وسيكون في آخر هذه الأمة رجل يقال له أبو حنيفة وهو سراج هذه الأمة. And there shall come a man who is a light for this ummah, and that is Abu Hanifa. So people used to lie because of competition between the madhahibs. Others, they will lie because they want some money or some status with the rulers. Amongst them, a man comes to Khalifa al-Mahdi and he starts lying to him about the blessings or the virtues of hunting pigeons. Some of them, Ikhwani fillah, they were storytellers. And most of them are the people of the khutbahs. Some of the khutbahs and the qussas, the storytellers, they did not care when it came to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. One day, one of them, he was sitting on the road, in the middle of the road. And the people tell him, Sheikh, it is not proper for you to sit in the middle of the road. This is shameful. They say, how can I be ashamed when I'm sitting next to cows and sheep? He says, Subhanallah, Sheikh, you're calling the fellow Muslims cows and sheep. He says, yes, and I shall prove to you that these are cows and sheep type. He goes, next Friday, goes to the khutbah, and he says, makes a khutbah, then he says, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he says in a hadith, that whoever removes his tongue, and the tongue reaches the nose, he shall enter Jannah and be given 70,000 wives. And those 70,000 wives will be wearing 70 golden necklaces and 70,000 bangles. And he'll have palaces that are of this size. He continues saying that hadith. What was everyone in the mosque doing? Removing their tongue and trying to make the tongue reach the nose. He says, Alam aqul lakum, ha'ulai kulluhum baqar. Did I not tell you that all these people are sheep and cows and goats? Also, some of the people who used to lie about the Prophet ﷺ is a man called Nuh ibn Abi Maryam and Maysara ibn Abd Rabbi. These two people were worshippers, Ubbad. Then they saw the people, everyone is studying the fiqh of Abu Hanifa. Everyone is studying the Maghazi of Ibn Ishaq. They're reading the books of Sirah, but no one is concentrating on the Quran. I want people to concentrate on the Quran. So he starts a project. Kenya has projects also. He starts a project. He says, every single surah of the Quran, I'll make sure I write a virtue and a benefit of reading that surah. And lil asaf, his words from those days, 1,200 years back, till this day, some or many of us, we memorize it. He says, for example, the heart of the Quran is which surah? Surah Yasin. You see, Nuh ibn Maryam has affected you guys. This hadith is a lie. The heart of the Quran is Surah Yasin. If there's no Surah Yasin, the Quran is dead. He says, Man qara'a Surah Yasin 10 marrat فكأنما قرأ القرآن. Whoever recites Surah Yasin 10 times, it is as if he has recited the entire Quran. Stop lying. This is only for Surah Al-Ikhlas. He tells you that, do you know the wedding of the Quran? What is the wedding of the Quran? Surah Ar-Rahman. Nonsense. If you read this surah, you will be protected from poverty. Which surah is this? Surah Al-Waqi'ah. All this nonsense, until the books of Tafsir al-Nasafi, Tafsir Abu Sa'ud, they put these benefits and virtues of reciting the surahs. All these are lies that are not there on the Prophet ﷺ. There are some other lies also. He says, Al-Jannatu tahta aqdam. The Jannah is under the feet of mothers. It is not true. Yes, you have to look after your mothers. They are the best of your parents. Yes, all these verses are true. But this hadith in particular, we enter in the month of Ramadan. Every time you find in some mosques, or the majority of mosques, they say, أولها رحمة وأوسطها مغفرة وآخرها العتق من النيران. That the first 10 days of Ramadan, these are the days of mercy. Then the next 10 days, the days of forgiveness. Then the last 10 days, the days of being escaping from the hellfire. Where are you getting these things from? Now, these are false hadiths that have spread in the ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is why it's very important for us as Muslims to always have amongst ourselves people who will study the hadiths of Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. What is an authentic hadith and what is a weak hadith? ما اتصل إسناده بنقل عدل ضابط عن مثله إلى منتهاه من غير شذوذ ولا علة. 5 conditions for a hadith to be authentic. You have to look at the chain of narration and you have to look at the text of the hadith. So from the signs of the day of judgment, the Prophet ﷺ says, سيكون في آخر أمتي أناس يحدثونكم ما لم تسمعوا أنتم ولا آباؤكم فإياكم وإياهم. There shall be people from this ummah who shall speak to you things that you have never heard about, you and your fathers. So beware of them and be wary of yourselves. Also, a lie that is spreading in society is this WhatsApp messages. If you don't send this to 10 people, what will happen? Now, you will die. If you don't send this to these people, where are they getting these stories from? And it's so easy, to tell some hadiths that this is a false hadith. The hadith of Prophet ﷺ, it has a light. It has a nur. If you are used to reading the hadiths of Prophet ﷺ, then you'll know it does not have rakika. It does not have words that are... Prophet ﷺ was given jawami al-kalim. He speaks very few words that have a lot of meaning. So you find a hadith, something very small, and you're told you'll be punished with a punishment that has no likes of it. You're like, what is this? Is this a religion? You're told, you do something very small, you'll be given a great reward. You're wondering, this is easy for even the Christians to do it. Why is there such a great reward? This is a sign that that hadith is a fake hadith. And there is no group and there is no sect that is a bigger liar than the Shia sect. The Shias are the biggest liars created from the time Adam was created until the day of judgment. They are in competition with Iblis. And most likely they have overlapped Iblis. Right together. These people, they have even hadiths that they narrate. And one of the chain of narrators is the donkey. One of the chain of narrators, the people in the sanad, we say, حدثنا فلان وفلان 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 عندهم في سندهم الحمار. They have a donkey in the chain of narration. And these are the people who bring a lot of falsehood, a lot of lies on the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Ikhwani fillah, this is sign number 41, and we are going to stop at this. كثرة الكذب وعدم التثبت في نقل الأخبار. A lot of lies and people will not be confirming information. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.